Here's the thing, there are nuances. You're here for a very specific reason. And also, living a world class doesn't happen by accident, doesn't happen by chance, and doesn't happen by luck. It happens by design and through designing a world-class mindset and taking world-class actions. And over the next 3 days, you have the absolute best mentor and coach in the world who's going to show you exactly how to think world-class thoughts and what world-class actions to take so you can create the life you want and have a massive transformation. I've already received several questions asking if we're going to have a replay from this event. And yes, there will be a replay available for 7 days. So what I want you all to do is right now, set your phone and your computer on focus mode. Close out all of your other browsers. Give us your full attention for the next 90 minutes. If you're not driving or on the road, pull out a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to want to, today is going to be and really lay the foundation for the next 3 days so that you can have a world-class life. So give yourself this time and really invest this time in yourself. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on the man of the hour, Mr. Arash Vossoughi, who's going to get today's lesson. Before you do, Arash, I would love if you would just a couple minutes about why world class. What does world class mean, and why is that something that everyone should be striving for?
Sure. Before I get started, I woke up today so inspired. I just feel this week's going to be special. Not that other events we haven't done haven't been special, but something I was just telling JR, who is in my office with me, I'm like, I have this nervous excitement because I'm so excited for everybody because one idea can change your life. Now, when you say world class, several years ago, really over the last 18 months specifically, world class became part of my intent. And I think compared to where I was creating a lot of world class results. But compared to where I wanted to go and who I wanted to become, I just kept inundating those two words, world class, into my identity. That's all I thought about. World-class relationships, world-class conditioning, world-class discipline, world-class attitude, world-class environment, world-class impact. So, for everybody, they have their own image of what world-class is. To me, world-class is being the very best in your own skin at what you do. Like what that is to you, not what it is to me. Before we got on, like, these 3 days, I'm set the intent. I'm going to have deliver the best 3 days I've ever delivered in my life. That is a world-class intention. But everything I'm thinking of is world-class. And whatever we put out, we're going to get back because everything happens by exact law, not luck. So this isn't, a lot of people, I want to take the pressure off of you right now. I don't want you to use this word and have pressure. I wanted to think about it as you get to be world class. There's a big difference. So don't say, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do it. I haven't done it before. I promise you, every single one of you has world class potential inside of you. We're going to draw it out this week as long as you don't get lazy minded and you do the exercise we tell you. You do the repetition. You're present here. And you put all distractions across and away, and you spend the 3 days and get emotionally involved with you. Not just with me, but with you. And we're going to help you create a world-class life.
I love that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen so we can get into today's lesson. And I'll see you guys towards the end. Arash,
okay, perfect.
It's all yours.
Thank you. All right, let me share this. All right, 3 days to a world-class life. Now, I want you to think, as we're getting started, and write this question: what does world-class mean to me? And the second question, if I was world-class right now, what would my life look like? See, for me, I really believe it's your right to be successful and live an abundant life, to be happy and free. Like, to me, that's just part of our DNA. And you should have all the money in the world, all the relationships, the health, the impact to lead a full, happy, and prosperous life. I think prosperous is such a great word. I want you to burn that idea that I am prosperous in your mind. Like, really burn that idea, because you're here to grow. I'm here to grow. All of us here to grow and unfold spiritually, mentally, and monetarily. Now, let's look at this. To create a world-class life, we first have to embrace world-class. You have one chance to live a world-class life, what we're experiencing right now. And you could choose in right now and say, from this moment on, I am committed and I'm going to create a world-class life. Now, what does that take? It takes really understanding that you have to have a positive impact to live world-class. And it takes that you have to make intentional decisions. I want all your decisions to be intentional, where you're putting all your energy towards how you can and not why you can't. It's a mindset of excellence. And this is the most important part. It's you can spend your days how you want. It's all dependent on seeing yourself world-class from this point on. How many of you would like to take world-class trips? How many of you would like to take and live what I call a life of freedom, doing what you want, when you want, with whomever you want, as often as you want? See, unfortunately, and I'm going to tell you this right now, too many people are satisfied by just getting by. And I think it's a really bad idea. I don't just think it's a bad idea, it's a dumb idea. They're just reacting to everything outside of them. And we have to really come within and start using and creating a world-class environment. And how you do that is you create mastermind group. And I said, my way is not working. And I bet on myself. I said, I'm not going to take the new company's offer. And I said, now it's your chance to implement this. And I knew the single best thing that I could do is find somebody that demonstrated the results that I wanted to live in my life. I want you to hear it, not just get. I wanted to live it. And that was the day I bet on myself. And I bet on myself when everything was going in the wrong direction. And I'm going to tell you that you have to bet on yourself. No matter what I put out, if you don't bet on yourself, if you come from a state of not having it, you're going to keep doing that. And I want you to take a great look at yourself, because you can earn more money. And we're going to teach you how to earn more money. You can enjoy more freedom. And I promise you, I'm going to teach you how to earn more freedom. And you could live the life you were destined to live. But nothing happens until you start taking responsibility and understand, for big things to show up in your life, you've got to choose it. And I want you to look at you. Like, I want you to pretend right now, for the next 3 days, that I'm just talking to you. And we're having a one-on-one coaching over the next 3 days, because that is what this is. And I will tell you this, big things are about to happen. Choose in with your whole heart. But everything that has happened in your life has been absolutely essential to prepare you for what you're about to do. That means all the failures, all the successes, all the doubts, all the faith, all the people who were toxic in your life that you allowed to keep internalizing their programs inside of you. See, right now, I want every single person to understand, I can motivate you for a very short period of time, but I can't take you to where you want to go unless you develop and activate the disciplines in your life. Motivation will get you started. Discipline is going to take you to the finish line. What is your finish line? What do you really want? That's what I want you to think about. You know, the things that I am going to really go deep with you that you have to master. There's 2 things you have to master. You have to master you. That's number 1. You've got to understand and start working with understanding how your mind works, and understand that this works for every single person, every single time, who follows the laws of the universe. Now, I want everyone to start out here, and what is the starting point today? The starting point is, from a neutral place, I want you to look at your results. Your results always tell the truth. They don't sometimes tell the truth, they always tell the truth. See, I'm forever looking at my results, and I'm looking at them from a very neutral place because my results are telling me where I've come from over the last several months, several years. It'll tell me why I'm where I am. And then I get to decide, am I going to upgrade? Upgrading is a world-class behavior. The world-class are always wanting to upgrade. They're never satisfied. They're always inspirationally dissatisfied. And we'll get into this. But take a look at your results and understand those results are not you. They're a reflection of your behaviors. You change your behaviors, the results are going to change. Now, how are you seeing the world right now? I want you to look at your world. That's how you're seeing it. Are you having an avalanche of abundance showing up? Are you financially independent? Are you struggling? Are you overweight? Look at all these things in terms of how you're seeing the world. See, are you seeing the world from the past, your old experiences? That's what most people are doing. They're seeing it from the past and they continue shaming themselves saying, oh, I've never gotten this. This has never worked for me. Understand that success is in your DNA. You are going to be successful. You have a right to be successful, but you have to start going into who you really want to be. You know, who you want to be is much more important than who you are at this point. Put your energy into, I am going to create a world-class life. Now, are you seeing your world from the present circumstances? Are you getting emotionally charged with that? I know I used to. That's what most people do. Or are you seeing your world only from the desire of your goal achieved? That's how I want you to see the world. That's all Voss Coaching does, is we are constantly inundating our clients who we work with on an elite level to teach them how to only see it from where they are. Now, in order to do this, right now I'm going to put this out. You have to, this is critical. Nothing will move until you make a decision, but not any decision. I want everybody right now to make an irrevocable, committed decision that you are going to create a world-class life from this point forward. Now, I want to sit back. I'm going to give you a moment. I want you to own world-class. I want you to own irrevocable, committed decision. If you're ready to create a world-class life, I want you to type in the chat that I am absolutely ready and committed to create a world-class life. I'm going to give you a chance to do this. I want you to own it. I want you to speak it into existence. That's the starting point. Now, this idea, my mentor gave me, and it was one of the ideas that just sparked me. It just sparked this light in me. And he said, Arash, I want to share this with you. You can create your own economy. And he said, you're losing very big. This is how he spoke to me. He said, you're losing very big. And he said, you're not a loser, but you're losing. And he said, I want you to get emotionally involved in this idea. This was one of our first conversations. And he says, I want you to start owning that you can create your own economy. He said, look at your results right now. You're $150,000 in debt. You're overweight. You have no idea where the hell you're going. And you want me to help you. And I said, I do. And he said, but I know you're going to win. He said, why do I know? Because we're still talking and you're doing the things that I've given you to this point. He said, but I want you to get emotionally involved with this idea. See, I want you right now to get emotionally involved that I can create my own economy. You already are creating your own economy. Your job doesn't create your own economy. The marketplace doesn't create your own economy. You do. Last week, I was doing an interview with a real estate company. And I was telling them a lot of the real estate agents are complaining about the marketplace. And I said, you know what's funny? I want you to tell me about those same agents. Were they crushing it in the best marketplace? And he said, no. I said, the results are pretty similar, right? He said, yeah. He said, but I said, here's what happens. Now they have a built-in excuse. See, the outside has no bearing on us, have no power on us until we stop thinking. When we're not thinking, we let everything in the outside world come into our subjective mind. And I'm determined to get you to understand your subconscious mind. I'm determined to get you to understand your conscious mind. See, you have to understand those so well. You have to understand the laws of your mind. Now, I know a lot of you right now say, no, I do understand it. Then I would say, do you? If you really understood it, if you had all that power inside of you, your subconscious will take you wherever you give it, then why are you creating what you don't want? Why are you speaking about what you don't want? Why are you criticizing successful people? Why are you condemning money? Why are you condemning anything in your life? See, anything we criticize and condemn flies away. So we want to look at this. Now, world-class performers are constantly upgrading. I want you to constantly be upgrading your image, constantly be upgrading your environment, consciously gaining more information. I laugh when clients say to me, Arash, I've spent X amount on coaching, so I'm good. I said, are you? I'm going to spend money on coaching the rest of my life. And I will tell you, why do I spend it? Because we all have blind spots. We all have somebody that's more aware of us, can teach us how to get to some other place that we've never been. And I tell these people all the time, I said, forget about that. Tell me what you want. And I said, if I could tell you how to get there, would that be worth it to you? And they say, oh yeah. And I said, see, it has nothing to do about what you've done in the past. We have to live in the now. We create our magnificent future by what we do now. Constantly upgrade. Upgrade every area of your life. Upgrade your intention. Upgrade your focus. Because what happens, everything we're doing or not doing is we're putting energy on the past, the old life, or we're creating a world-class life. I want all your energy. I want everything moving forward. I want everything being world-class. I want everything you do. I want all your rejection, world-class rejections. See, if you're not getting rejected, you're not going after what you really want. And you're playing your life not to lose. You've got to play your life to win. Are there going to be rejections along the way? For sure there are. But you won't get emotionally involved in them. See, rejections are not the problem. Rejections are what create the biggest successes. World class, get this inundated in your mind. Now, if you want to create a world-class life, you have to change what you believe is possible. I want everyone to look at their goals, if they have goals. And is that what you really want? Is this worthy of you? And if it's not, I want you to upgrade it. I want you to understand you're going to grow into it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But ask yourself, am I going after what I really want or what I think I can get? There's a big difference. The world-class individual is always upgrading. They know, gosh, I can grow into this. All I have to do is accept the idea and inundate it within my mind, and it will take form. But that's what I want you to do. I want you to make your future your magnificent obsession where you're designing it. Right now you're designing. You just being here is telling me you want something greater. But I want you, every day is day one. Every day is day one. And every day you're putting all your energy towards your great vision that we're going to get into today. Make your future your magnificent obsession. Now, if you're going to be world class, you cannot put your thoughts on what is missing. You cannot put it on your present circumstances, good or bad. And you cannot put it on your past. See, I said to you, a lot of people will study this, and I studied it for 3 years and got no results. And thank God that I had somebody in my life, and I was smart enough to be aware that I had the right mentor in my life who said to me, he said, you don't know this, you know about it. See, I was putting all my energy, why isn't this working? What is missing? I was putting it, gosh, I don't know what to do. I mean, I have a foreclosure sticker on my garage. I'm $150,000 in debt, and I'm getting married in 3 weeks. Present circumstances. Well, will this really work? I asked my mentor. I said, will this really work? I've spent X amount of money for 3 years and nothing's changed. Passed. And you know, I love sharing stories with him because he works in and through me so much. And Bob said to me, he said, I don't care if it took $1 million to get to me. Now I'm going to show you how to live the way you want to live. And he got me so centered in the present moment. That's what I want you to do. See, we cannot focus on what others want for you. I want you to have a world-class life, but you've got to want it. I can't want it for you more than you want it for you. I want you to be your goal setter. But you're going to find out when we get into goals, I'm not really that big into goal setting. I'm into goal achieving. See, goal setting is an intellectual exercise. I want you to experience that life. And you become what you think about all day long. There's no such thing as something for nothing. If you're not doing the daily disciplines, then you're not going to deserve the rewards. See, we cannot achieve what we subconsciously don't feel we deserve. But as you gain understanding, you're going to start becoming very careful about what you think about. And I want you to get so monomaniacally focused on only thinking about what you want all day long. Now, what is success? Success is the ability to lead yourself. Nobody can lead you until you lead yourself. You say, this is what I'm doing. Success is the ability to sell yourself on your goals, on your ideas, on your follow-ups. It's to become accountable. And success is the ability to constantly always be developing yourself. Remember, make this in your mind, this acronym, ABD, always be developing. ABD, I am always developing. Always be developing yourself. Success is falling in love with what you're doing. See, but we don't want to just fall in love with it. We want to go out and do it. And that's what success is. When you're doing what you love and you do it from a service position, you're going to lead so many people and yourself into the most successful life. One of the reasons people are not successful, I said it earlier, they're silently condemning success. There may be people, and think about if this is in your world right now. Maybe generations in your family have come up with the idea that poverty is a virtue, like they use it as a badge of honor. It is not a badge of honor. It is a mental disease. Poverty is a mental disease. You have all the power inside you to create any life that you want, yet there's so many people focusing on lack. Why? Because they're not in control. And we want to change that program. Losing. We're not meant to lose. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. You're infinite in every cell of your body. Losing is a mental disease. See, I want you to come in and understand that if you just do a few disciplines compounded over time, you're going to create massive results. But what I'm asking you to do is build a new model. We cannot keep thinking the same thoughts, taking the same actions, feeling the same feelings, having the same image, having the same discipline, and expect different results. I think right now for all of us, me at the top of the list, I'm always building a new model. I want you to build a new model. I want you to embrace this. But the new model always starts, not just what do you really want, what do you really want more than anything else in the world? I have a lot of people who come to me and they'll say, Arash, can I have just one want or can I have a lot of wants? I say, you can have as many wants as you want, but I want the one that we focus on, that you want more than anything else in the world. And I said, guess what happens? You're going to start achieving those other wants along the way. And I want you to think, what do you really want more than anything in this world right now? And always ask yourself, not just what do you really want, what do you want to experience? What are the experiences you'd like to have? I want you to get so clear in that. What changes would you like to make? Like right now, what is the one change that comes on the top of your mind that you would like to make? That's the one you make a part of your identity, those changes. Why are your goals so important to you? And your goals have to be important to you. If we don't put attention and a lot of attention on goals, you're not going to create the life you want. You have to breathe life into your goals. So our why is very important. And at the top of the list, what kind of person do I need to become to achieve all that I want? And I'm going to change this up a little bit. What kind of person do I need to become to create a world-class life? for me, whatever that means for you. What does that mean? Like for me, freedom, when I was starting, that was the word for me. That was what changed it all. I fell in love with this idea of freedom. And everything, even though I didn't know exactly what I wanted, I knew how I wanted to live. That image was so clear. It was so vivid in my life what freedom meant to me. And it had a lot of meaning. That's why I put so much energy to it. See, we want to ask ourselves, who do we need to become to create a world-class life? Now, to me, it always starts with philosophy. See, I'm going to take you back. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you really understand how important philosophy was in my life. I can remember the day my philosophy changed. And what happens when your philosophy changes, your thinking changes almost instantly. And not just your thinking, your results follow that thinking pattern. But I remember I had lost my job. I was coming home and I was driving home, and my company sold. The new company wanted to change. Now here's the story. And it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. The day before, I worked my way up in the corporate world. I was doing business to business sales. And I worked my way up in the corporate world from literally the bottom to the top of the company. And the only person I reported to was the president and the owner of the company. And there was all these rumors that they were selling. Like the environment was really, really bad. There was all this gossip going on. And I walked into the president and the owner's office. They were actually in there together. And I said to the owner, I said, "Is this true that you're going to sell?" And he looked me in the eye and he said, "You could trust me. If we were going to sell, you'd be one of the first people to know." And the very next day they sold. And I said to myself, I was driving home, and I said to myself, why are you mad at them? You're the problem. You've been studying, and I had been studying this information for 3 years at the time, but created no results. And at that moment, I said to myself, I'm not taking the offer of the new job, and I'm going to work like hell on myself. I'm going to work so deeply on myself to get this, and I'm not going to go work for anybody again. And I'm driving home, and looking back now, well, I've looked back on this several times. My life changed in that moment. My life changed when I changed my philosophy to say no to comfort and yes to how I really wanted to live. And I think about it a lot. If I would have accepted that position from the new company that they wanted me, I would never be close to where I am now. I had to feel that discomfort and really own it and work on myself and burn my bridges, make that irrevocable committed decision and bet on myself. And I had to have the courage. See, my philosophy changed so dramatically. And I want you to look at your philosophy. And your standard is going to set the tone of your life philosophy. But do you believe, I'll give you some ideas. I have so many parts of my philosophy, and so do you. Right now, most people, if they don't know their philosophy, it's unconscious. Like to me, part of my philosophy now, I promise you it wasn't like this before, part of my philosophy is any idea that comes in my mind I know I can do. That's part of my philosophy. Part of it is anything I touch turns to gold. This is part of my philosophy now. Part of my philosophy is I'm so big on experiences. I'm so big on family. I'm so big on my friends. I'm so big on helping. These are all parts of my philosophy. To me, it's about the experiences you have and the amount of and frequency of those experiences. These are part of my philosophy. Part of my philosophy, it's time to go when you outgrow anything. When you outgrow your environment, it's time to go. And that's why I left Proctor Gallagher Institute, because I felt it was time for me to spread my wings. I outgrew the environment. And at that moment, it was like, boom, I'm gone. Like I knew it. But I want you to look at your philosophy, because your philosophy is your creed. And for most people, and for me, when I was really not understanding this, I was operating with an unconscious creed, and I was just reacting to the outside. I want you to think about and spend time on asking yourself, what is the philosophy I want to live with from this moment forward? And here's the beautiful thing about philosophy. You're always upgrading it. Always upgrading it. You remember I said the world-class upgrades? Well, how do you upgrade your philosophy? You operate with a standard, and a significant standard. I want you to set the standard. I want you to set it for who you want to become. What are the experiences you want? Set your own standard. Your personal standard is your DNA to success. Standard always wins. We want to bring all our results up to our standard. Now, most people have it opposite. They're bringing their personal standard down to their environment. They're bringing it down to wearing a mask for certain people. They're bringing it down to, oh, wait, I better play it safe. You never play it safe. Playing it safe is reckless. You want to go bet on yourself. Make that part of your standard. See, your standard, most people, every one of you have it. Most of you, just like philosophy, have it on an unconscious level. And you don't go in until you get pissed off enough. I want you to consciously create your standard. You say, I'm bringing my income up to the life I want to live. I'm bringing my environment up to creating a world-class environment. And you never drop. You draw a line in the sand. You say, this is where I'm going. I'm not accepting anything under this. You know, people will come to me and they'll say, well, do you think that's arrogance? It's not arrogance. What it is you're creating ownership and a boundary of how you're going to live. See, remember, you're going to only attract what you feel you're worthy of. I told you that before. Whatever you tolerate, you're going to keep getting. To me, I want you to live with this standard and grow it. Now, let's look at your standard. Let's really look at it. Let's take a good look at your standard. What are your results right now? What are your business results? What are your personal results? That'll reflect your standard. What is your income? Standard. How are your relationships? Do you have people around you that are just rooting for you? That are constantly, you have this inner circle of people who just are cheering you on to win. How are your relationships with your kids, with your spouse? How do you communicate? Do you communicate effectively? Standard. Are you at your ideal weight, looking great and feeling even better? Standard. You want to start looking at this, and how are your boundaries? You cannot create any standard without having significant boundaries. And that's what I want you to look at. But how do you do it? You have to create extreme ownership. You are responsible for absolutely every result you're getting. You're responsible for it. When you take responsibility for your life and understand that you're the only problem you're ever going to have and you're the only solution, then you take your power back to transform your life. Without ownership, where if you're allowing the outside to control you, then you're putting your head in the sand. See, we have to create extreme ownership, and I want your ownership to be on your actions. You own your action steps. You're responsible for your life and your results. See, when we do that, standard and philosophy become second nature to us. Remember, when you change your philosophy with your standard and you mix them together, get ready, your results and thinking are going to change almost immediately. Now, what we have to do over the next 3 days, if you're going to create a world-class life, you have to master the power of 5. You have to master it. And the power of 5 is you've got to make irrevocable, committed decisions. I'm going to go very deeply in it over the next 2 days after today. But you have to master decision making. Discipline. There is no such thing as world-class without discipline. Make discipline your best friend, not your enemy. I want you to discipline and focus on a few disciplines. Your standard, set your standard, draw a line in the sand, and understand that over the next 3 months, things are going to come up to your standard if you hold true to it. And then your image. We've got to build an amazing image and identity. Our image, we can never outperform. We could change it, but we can't outperform it. Look at your results. That will tell you what image you're operating with. And your image is always based on past experiences. And the best way to change your image is action. Do the thing. Like Emerson says, the thing that gives you power is the thing that you do. It doesn't mean just study it. I watch too many people study my information, study whoever they're studying, hours and hours a day. No, you want to put 1 hour into study. The rest of your day is an implementation, action, and then attitude. Nothing happens without attitude. Like right now, this call has an attitude. How you're internalizing it is an attitude. Are you rejecting it? Are you saying, oh, that's, I've heard this before? Nope, that's your attitude. That's your expectation of what you have not implemented in your life. Don't be a victim. There's two types of people. There's victims and leaders. Victims focus on why it doesn't work. Victims constantly are looking for what's wrong. Be a leader. Take responsibility. But this is about you. And I want you to, from this moment, I want you to see you as world class. You are world class. You've got to see yourself as world class. And in order to do that, you have to understand that you are infinite. There's no end to where you could take yourself. Now, this is an easy idea to reject. I'm infinite. Like, who wakes up in the morning saying, oh, I'm infinite? But I want you to start waking up with that idea. This is an idea my mentor taught me. He said, Arash, you don't understand you. Until you understand you can't create what you're telling me you want to create. So then I did a deep dive of understanding me. I accepted that idea that I was infinite. See, that's where I get my courage. I don't get my courage from anywhere but understanding the greatness that God has given me, that I have infinite potential. And all you have to do is look at the absolute marvelous people who've created absolutely themselves from nothing into something extraordinary. Well, at one point, they were an absolute beginner. And that's what I always think about. If one person can do it, you could do it. And I know if I can create a life of freedom, so can you. If I can create a world-class life, I know you can too. Now, this is so important you understand. We've got to get you to understand the laws of your mind. Now, I don't want you to get it where you intellectually get it. I want you to get it where everything you come to, oh, this is a conscious thought. This is a subconscious program. I want you to get understanding, because once you get your subconscious to be your silent partner, it is your silent partner anyway. Most people are just using it against themselves. And I want you to understand it so well that it becomes your automatic prequel to how you make decisions by understanding your mind. See, your conscious mind is your thinking mind, and it's your educated mind, and it's where your intellect resides. Your intellect is where all the thinking happens from. Now, your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. Now, let me blow you away with this. This blew me away when I started learning this. Your subconscious mind creates 96 to 98% of all your results, perceptions, and behavior. Your conscious mind creates 2 to 4%. Now, you can't get to your subconscious without your conscious mind allowing it. So these work so close together. It's like your conscious mind, I love this. I heard this years ago from Joseph Murphy. He says your conscious mind is the ignition, your subconscious mind is the motor. And what the conscious mind starts the process of creation, your subconscious takes it over. Now, how does your conscious mind work? You get to choose any idea you want. I'm asking you and encouraging you to choose more for yourself. Choose an idea of world class for yourself. Choose an idea of expansion, of growth for yourself. See, we can accept or reject every idea. I want you to master this. Right here is where discipline is. These two words, accept or reject, is everything my success is predicated on. Everything I've created in my life was I stopped accepting what was comfortable and went after what I really wanted. I rejected what I didn't want. See, you have to become so monomaniacally focused at rejecting any idea that you don't want, because the moment you accept it, even if you think it's not a big deal, it goes right to your subconscious mind. Right away, it goes to your subconscious, and your subconscious will take it to the finish line, because that's what it's programmed to do. It doesn't know if you're joking. It doesn't know what's true or what's imagined. It only knows what you give it. Now, your conscious mind originates ideas. I want you to think about your goal right now. Is it so vivid in your mind? Have you activated one of your higher faculties, your imagination, where you originated this idea that just gets you out of bed? Did you feel like I did this morning? I was so fired up, and I had this inspired, excited energy to start this today. See, that's what I want you to have. Originate an idea that is getting you out of bed. And if you're not, you're letting the outside do it. If you're not, you're being lazy and you're thinking and you don't understand you. I want you to understand you. And you've got to understand and get your conscious, your subconscious, and your body to work in harmony. That's called praxis. And when you do that, everything changes. Your subconscious, as I said earlier, it can only accept. So you've got to get really good at your language. You've got to get really good at controlling your emotions. See, winning is a language. And what you're speaking about right now is going to dictate what shows up in the future. Your subconscious cannot reject. It only knows what you give it. It says, okay, the economy is bad. Well, your economy is going to get really bad. See, I want you only speaking what you want, nothing else. And it cannot determine the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Start really seeing yourself from the end. And when you use your imagination, it literally penetrates the layers of your subconscious mind to bring the fulfillment of your desire. But it's the consistent, sustained, disciplined imagination of planting that idea over and over again that's going to create what you want. Our job is to live from the end, not to the end. Now, the capacity to achieve your goals depends on your ability to control your subconscious mind with subjective control. See, what that means is I dictate what goes in. I accept only what I want. Anything that I don't, I reject. That's what we have the access to, and it's called subjective control. I want you to burn this. Accept and reject. Originate. Choose. I want you to get emotionally involved with only what you want. Forget about what's happened to this point. Design your beautiful future right now. Now, I'm going to give you a challenge and start saying no from this moment on to anything that is not in harmony with your goal. And if you don't start catching it, your subconscious is going to get it. That's why we've got to get conscious of what we're thinking about. And as you do that, everything's going to change. Now remember, everything comes from what do you really want? What do you want more than anything else in the world? I want you to start thinking about that right now. Now, your wants come from the essence of who you are. They start in your subconscious mind. Why am I showing you this? Because when you understand how your mind works, you're going to understand, accept the ideas, accept these brilliant ideas that you're getting. See, the want comes in your subconscious, and because it's there and it starts in your genius, it is meant to be achieved, and your imagination picks it up. Most people, they'll say, I've got this idea. I really want to go bigger. I want to earn $1 million or more, whatever it is. Or I want to turn in from being very heavy to be in the best shape of my life, whatever it is. But what happens is they reject the idea right away. They say, I can't do that. Why? Because they're old programming. And we want to accept that idea. I want you to accept it like you've accepted nothing more in your life. When you accept it with your imagination turns it back to your subconscious mind, and it turns into a desire. Well, once it's a desire, the desire is not just in your subconscious mind, it's in universal subconscious, which alters the vibration, which dictates what you attract. The whole universe, like Emerson says, conspires on your behalf to make it a reality. Only start really working with bigger ideas. Work with a bigger image. Work with understanding. That's why, a lot of you have probably studied some of this information. But I don't want you to study it. I want you to implement it. Without implementation, it's delusion. The biggest fallacy out there is knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Implementation is power. Implement. Take action. Work with a bigger idea of yourself. That's power. And that's how your results are going to change. Now, nothing changes until we change our program. But I want you to have world-class programming. See, if you look at your results right now, that'll tell you where your programming is. And I want you to understand you could rewire your programming at any moment. Now, habits are going to be critical. Habits do not restrict freedom, they create it. if you look at your results again from a neutral place, you're going to understand your habits. These are part of your programming. The programming is the prequel to the habits. They cause the habits. The habits is what causes the results. Create great habits. Create world-class habits, one at a time. Now, what is standing in your way between where you are now and creating a world-class life? What it is this is where you are now, and your goal, a world-class life, is on a much higher frequency. And what's standing in the way is you have your program, your paradigm. Your paradigm is your belief system. It's a multitude of habits stored in a section of your subconscious mind. And what happens, you say, I want to create a world-class life. And you say, I'm going to do it. And you go up against the paradigm shoots it back. And so people do this over and over again. They keep trying to fight the paradigm. You don't fight it, you neutralize it. You neutralize the paradigm by making first how you knock the walls down. Nothing happens without a decision. And you make an irrevocable, absolutely committed decision. Now, you must understand this. We just spoke about subjective control. I want you to make a decision. From this moment on, you're going to dictate what gets into your subconscious mind. As soon as you start thinking, well, I wonder if this could work, you say, no, I'm not going to accept that. I'm only making decisions based on my goal, based on how I want to live, based on creating a world-class life. Your mindset has to be stronger than your emotions, so you've got to catch it. Remember, I had a slide just a moment ago, and I said, did you catch it? I want you to catch this. See, a paradigm is a mental program that has exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and all of our behaviors are habitual. Today, 95% of all of our days is already done. Now, we could change it. Some of them are good behaviors, some of them are not so good. But 95%, it's like everyone is rinsing, repeating. We have to take conscious control over our program and change it and replace it. That's how you create a new program. Now, there's two things you must know to create a world-class life. Number one, you have to know where you are, and you have to know where you're going. Now, where you are, it's easy to say. Where you're going, most people don't know. It's so simple, and it's so obvious. Why are so many people stuck? Because they're always thinking, not from where they're going, they're thinking from where they are. You know, I wrote this down in front of me. It's a quote by, from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. He said, having seen the end, you have willed the means to the realization of the end. The end is your goal. See, everything we do is from the end. And what we want to do is stop coming from where we are. That's what the paradigm wants. Everything is from where you are. And so you're thinking the same thoughts, same feelings, same results. Well, why am I not getting the result? That coaching program didn't work, or this situation didn't work. What didn't work is you're not working it. I want to be very honest with you. Until you're thinking, feeling, and acting from your goal, it is delusion. And that doesn't mean part-time. That has to become our dominating thinking. And that's why people are stuck. And that's why they're blaming everything on the outside. We have to understand this. Once you change your paradigm, you turn it into an empowering paradigm. Now it's working for you rather than against you. And I want you to look again. This is such an important lesson that I learned from my mentor. And he said, look at all the areas of your life that your paradigm has influence over. I want you to look at you, your perception, how you're seeing the world, your use of time. Are you working on productive or non-productive activities? Your effectiveness. How effective are you? Your paradigm is controlling it. Your standard always wins. You dictate that. Your programming is dictating that by being in conscious control. Your productivity. Would you see yourself at world-class productivity? Your paradigm has control over. And logic. This is what stops people more than anything else. They're using logic. They're constantly overthinking. See, what we have to understand is the paradigm has control of everything in our life. And it has big control of your ability to earn money. See, until what happens when you're operating from your paradigm, you're in a box. I want you to look at my hands. How can I create when I'm coming from this small? I've got to expand my box. I've got to think bigger. I got to be bigger. And I want you to understand, once you make that irrevocable committed decision, now the walls drop. Now you're not in a box. But I told you, it's consistent work that is going to get you to live the way you want to live. And when I say consistent, it doesn't mean it's hard. It actually makes your life much better. The habits are going to create freedom. When you have habits working for you, I'm telling you, your life is going to get easier and easier, more and more effortless to create bigger and bigger ideas. Now, I want you to look at this. I want you to just imagine how your entire life will change as you begin improving any and all areas of your life. I want you to look at this. The change is going to be huge and it's going to be permanent. That's the beautiful part. When we change a paradigm, a part of our paradigm, what happens is the change is not huge, just huge. It's permanent. It's forever. Now it's a part of your identity. It'll be harder for you not to do it than to do it. And this is what we want to look at. Imagine all you did was understand, all I'm doing is 3 to 6 goal achieving activities every day. I'm only focusing on being more productive. Well, your income is going to change dramatically. And I want you to get this. See, today's lesson is so important, and it's a little longer because I want you to understand, until we match what we're talking about today, nothing will move. Now let's look at the mind again. I told you have to master this. I want you to come in like you've never watched this lesson before. And you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind, and you have a body. Okay? Your conscious mind has your 5 senses: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And this is where your programming comes in and tries to keep you doing what you've always done. And your senses are so sensitive, and we're here to enjoy life out of our senses, not make decisions. But most people are letting the paradigm communicate to the senses, and they make every decision from their senses. You have an intellectual mind. You also have an emotional mind, and you have a body. Now, we have something that we have to master, because your higher faculties, your memory, your perception, your will, your imagination, your intuition, and your reasoning create your environment. Look at your results again. They've been created by these higher faculties, whether you've been using them unconsciously or consciously. We want you to use it consciously. See, most people don't even know about them. Our higher faculties are in our conscious mind. What did we say? We can originate any idea. We could choose any idea. We can accept or reject. See, your perception is how you see the world. It's your attitude. I want you to bulletproof your perception to only see it as world class from right now. Your reasoning works on all the faculties. Your reasoning is your ability to think. That's how we accept or reject ideas, through our reasoning. Our memory, I want you to only think of great memories. I want you to come in and say, where did I succeed? And even the memories that you didn't. I look at failures. For me personally, I'll go back into my memory and I let it go right away, but I use it as a university. I use it to make me better. Your will holds one idea. That's why I said, what do you want more than anything else in the world? It holds one idea on the screen of your mind. And as you do that, you're going to change. You're going to see creation working beautifully. Your intuition is your sixth sense. Your intuition is it's connected to your instinct, and it says, this is what you've got to do, or be aware of this. And it always comes from a positive place. And your imagination is the greatest tool we have. It's like Einstein says, logic takes us from point A to point B. Imagination takes us everywhere. Imagination is the faculty and the tool that visualization comes from. And any idea we accept, what happens, your imagination accepts it right away and takes it right to your subjective mind. But I want you to pick one of these, and imagine you just saw what you wanted all day long. For the next 30 days, you just built this mental picture of what you wanted all day long. Imagine the changes that you're going to start seeing in your life. Imagine if all you did was you focused on one idea instead of 1,000. And you focused on your goal, one goal, and you put all your attention on it. What would happen? If you just did that for 30 days. Well, your higher faculties are how you change your paradigm. And once the paradigm is changed, the result changes and everything changes. See, we want to get this. This is a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work or how many hours you put in. If the program does not change, the results remain the same from one year to the next. I want you to get this. When the paradigm stays in control, when the program is in control, nothing changes. And that's the people who come to me. I've been doing this for all these years. Nothing has changed. Well, nothing's changed because you haven't changed the program yet. You have not rewired. Stop giving attention to nothing's changed and start doing the work. When you do the work always works. You're spending all your energy on what you don't want. What do you think you're going to keep getting? Like, take what I'm saying very seriously. I used to be that person. For 3 years, I didn't get what I wanted. Why? Because I was the problem. I was only gathering information. I wasn't implementing. Implementation is key. And ask yourself right now, what actions am I not taking due to discomfort? That's your program in control. Now, lock into this idea, because this is where people are making the biggest error. Is they understand they have a conscious, subconscious, and they have a body. And they have every good intent. They say, I really am working hard at this. And they say, I've got an idea. I've got this goal that I'm really committed. I'm really going to do it. And then they're not thinking. They don't use their reasoning to accept or reject. They don't reject the idea fast enough that says, oh, look at your results. And they let the results dictate their attitude. It controls the conscious image that they've currently been operating with. So now the goal's not even on their mind. They're saying, see, it doesn't work. And then they get emotionally involved with the outside. Nothing ever changes for me. And what happens? Produces the same results. The dream dies away. It literally dies away. And this is what this is why attitude is so important. We've got to get in control and stop letting the results dictate how we act, how we feel, how we invest, the actions we take. We've got to let the goal be the driving source. We make every decision from the goal. And this is why I can't begin to tell you, if you will just get so good at accepting and rejecting ideas, your world is going to change. Your dream is not going to die away. But until you do, it will die away. And here's the thing. We have to get serious. This is our life. We've got to put a lot of energy towards what we want. I didn't say you need to get rigid. I said get serious. How do you get serious? You make a decision. You say, this is where I'm going no matter what. This is what I'm doing no matter what. And that's when your life changes. How do you do it? You bet on yourself. Have the guts to bet on yourself. Winning takes guts. World class takes guts. Losing is easy. Anybody can lose, just don't think. But winning, that's why so few people win. And winning is so easy to do when really it's mixed with commitment and discipline. Now, how do you win? You've got to fall in love with a future. What is your future? I want you to fall in love with it. I love this quote by Hill, where he says, cherish your vision and your dreams as they are the children of your soul. They're the blueprint of ultimate achievements. Do you have a vision right now? Or do you just have a want? We've got to turn that want to make it so much power to turn it into a desire. Now we get into what I think is the fun part. This is where it gets really exciting. You create a world-class vision. I want you to build your vision on how you want to live. I want you to imagine it is a 6-month vision right now. It's the end of the year. It's December 31st, and you achieved your vision. Make it a year out, whatever you want. But I want you to build it and not limit yourself. Your vision is what you will get your goals, that will create your goals, that will create your wants, that will create your philosophy, will create your standard. Vision. What is your vision? And don't settle. Your values and integrity are not for sale. Hold firm to your vision. Lock into it. And just remember, I watch so many people throw out their vision because they're not seeing the results. It only means you haven't changed the program yet. It doesn't mean your vision's not coming. Remember, short-term gains equal long-term pains. Don't live a life of regret. I want you to create a vision that is worthy of you. I want you to create the most kick-ass vision where you are so fired up about it. Now, when we're creating a vision, remember when we talked about you are infinite. Nothing is small about you, so stop thinking small. I want your vision to be big. I want you to understand the time is going to happen anyway. You might as well go create the life of your dreams. Create a world-class life. Think big. Don't downsize what the universe wants to give you. Keep expanding. Create a prosperous life. Create a world-class life of abundance. And the universe is here to serve you. The universe is your silent partner. Whatever you give to it, it will bring it back. Keep putting good out. Keep getting better at what you do. Now, when we're talking about a vision, we have to ask ourselves, do I know how to build a picture of what I really want? Do I really know that? I will show you exactly what to do. Our goals are our vision of the future. I want you to fall in love with your future, but it starts with designing it right now. Right now. Forget about what's happened to this point. From right now, you design your magnificent masterpiece. That's called life. Most people have fears of the future. Are you afraid of it? I want you to sprint towards the future. I want you to understand, be locked in. Every day is day one. What I'm doing today is creating my future results. If you're fearful of the future, you're always going to be losing out on opportunities. I'll tell you who's fearful of the future. Get ready for this. I'm talking to my people who are always gathering information. They're always planning to plan. Without being a great decision maker, you're losing one opportunity after the next. And part of your program is saying, no, I just want all the information. No. What happens is you have a moment. You always know the truth because the truth resonates with the essence of who we are. Do not freeze. You'll be losing out on one opportunity after another. The price is easy to create a world-class life if you make the irrevocable decision. Count on your ability to design your future. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Every day, for the next 7 days, write out your vision. Write it out and write out exactly how you want to live. And don't make it where it's 10 pages. Make it where it's 1 to 2 pages in all areas of your life. But what you do is you put classical music on. It neutralizes your mind. Put Beethoven on. Watch when you do it, what's going to happen. And then day 2, you rewrite it again. Day 3, you rewrite it again. Because what's going to happen, you're going to keep creating new ideas that you want part of your vision. And then after day 7, I want you to record it. And I want you to listen to it every day. I don't care if you're doing the laundry, if you're going out for a walk, if you're doing the dishes, just put it in the background. I don't even need to get you focused on it. I just need to keep inundating your subconscious with it. Get emotionally involved with what you want through auto-suggestion. That's what I showed you in imagination. Now, here's an example of a statement, and you can change this to whatever you want. I was just making one up. These are statements that we want to get through auto-suggestion and get into to change your program. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million or more a year. That truth is clearly imaged in my conscious mind. It is effectively planted through constant spaced repetition in my subconscious mind. Therefore, it is presently moving into physical form. Do you realize, let's say this is somebody's goal. Do you realize if they just played a recording of this over and over and over again, their actions are going to start changing because their program is going to start changing? You know, I have a great client, Joan. Joan worked in my Millionaire Mastermind program. And for a while, we were just going and she was gathering information and she said, Arash, I need to get this breakthrough. Once I got her to create recordings, everything changed for Joan. And she's created massive results. And I'm talking massive. And all I did was get her to fall in love with how to reprogram her mind with recordings. That's all I did. Like, that was the big idea. We did a lot of other ideas, but that one really made such a difference for her. And I'm telling you right now, it's the repetition that's going to change your program. And understand this. If you plant this idea or another idea similar, that any idea that is held in the mind, that is feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and physical form available. What did we say? We've got to learn the laws of the mind. You're giving yourself suggestions, or the outside world's giving you suggestions. So we got to accept or reject. Are you internalizing positive or negative suggestions? Well, because you're going to create a world-class life from this point forward, you only accept positive suggestions, but you dictate what goes in your subconscious. I want you to write your definite want. I want you to understand the more you listen to it, that's what's going to change your results. See, this is so simple that most people won't do it. They will not do it. I want you to do it. I want you to fall in love with it. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a formula of something to do that will really lock this into your mind. I wrote something down. I was pulling out my notes. Yesterday, I was flying home from San Diego, and I was pulling out all my notebooks. Anyway, I wrote something down, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to read it once, and I'm going to read it slowly. And I want you to really pay attention to this. This is something I studied many years ago from The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. He said, keep repeating this over and over again. So I did. And then I recorded it so I could listen to it more and more. But I'm going to read it to you twice. It says, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. It is my right to be rich, happy, and successful. Money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly. I am forever conscious of my true worth. I give of my talents freely. I am wonderfully blessed financially. It is wonderful. Now, I want to read it to you and get you to understand why this worked for me, okay? I took an idea that was revered to me. And it says, I am one with the infinite riches of my subconscious mind. My subconscious has to accept what I'm giving it. So I just gave it that idea. It is my right to be rich. I started focusing on the richness of the world. A lot of people will look at monetary. I wasn't looking at monetary. I was looking at it in all areas of my life. Happy and successful. Money flows to me freely. That means I'm giving this suggestion over and over again, and I must have listened to it 2,000 times. Money flows to me freely, copiously, and endlessly. I am forever conscious of my true worth. I built this idea of how important my worth was. And remember, whatever we subconsciously feel we deserve, we get. I want you to have world-class self-worth. I give of my talents freely. I am wonderfully blessed financially, and it is wonderful. I'm telling you, go back and listen to this recording, write it down, and watch what magic comes into your life. This is so powerful because this is the creation process. Suggestion, accepting an idea, internalizing it, changes your vibration, dictates what you attract. Now, here we go. One last thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to my great friend, Monica DeMarin, to help you. Now, you have a goal right now, and your results do not reflect your goal. I'm going to tell you this. They do not reflect your goal right now, or else you'd have a different goal. What you say is, I do not care what the results reflect. I am detaching from my five senses. I'm literally putting it in a lockbox. I am only creating my life from this moment forward for my higher faculties, from my memory, my perception, my will, my imagination, my intuition, and my reasoning. I have an imagination, and whatever idea I accept, it has to come into form. Like, that's a law. Remember what I said? Everything happens by law, not luck. Now, you have a power flowing in and through you that's called thought energy. I want you to think about what you want. Now, from this point on, you are building your want. That want came from the essence of who you are. You build that want, and you build it so closely to your heart. And through the repetition of saying that want over and over again, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million or more every year, and I love it. That truth is clearly imaged in my conscious mind. It is effectively planted through constant spaced repetition in my subconscious mind. Therefore, my present results are reflecting this. It is done. Now you turn that suggestion through your will. Now you're using your imagination and your will, your other higher faculty. And it turns into a desire. Once it's a desire, it's not just in your subconscious mind, it's in universal subconscious. Understand, once it's a desire, it is a done deal. It is yours for the taking, unless you give up on it. It has to come into results. It has to. And understand, acting on ideas right away, you're giving yourself a shot to win. I want you to win in the biggest way. I want you to create a world-class life. And I'm going to turn it over to my great friend, Monica DeMarin. But I'll tell you this. Monica, I want you to pay such close attention I mean, I'm forever stretching Monica to expand, to grow, to implement what I'm telling her. And her life has changed so dramatically. I can't wait to show you all a picture of myself, Monica, and Mikey from 6 years ago. And you're going to see how much this work really implements in a physical form, in a picture of how much we've transformed. I'm sure Mikey's cringing and Monica's cringing, but I think it's just you'll see it firsthand. But Monica's going to give you assignments to do. She's going to do a recap, and I want you to pay close attention to her. I'm telling you, Monica is the top 0.1% of all coaches in this world. And I personally trained her, and I know how good she is. So I want you to pay very close attention to Monica. All right, Mon, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hey, thanks, Arash, so much. I'm not cringing over here, by the way. I probably would have a few years ago. Now I'm like, let's look at that picture and see how far we've grown. Absolutely. I'm all about that. And I'm very proud of that because Arash is right. He has stretched me. If you do exactly what he tells you to do, you will grow. It's not going to feel comfortable at times, but it's meant to grow and serve you. And today was so good. A world-class life, like just those words.